Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harakadas, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harakadas. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and others, great millstone teaching, goodwill, peace and blessings to the Lord's elect. I'm the brother Walker Bar. Just doing a little walk and talk. You know, while at work, I do a lot of walking at work, and right now I got a little trail I'm on where I got free space. So I said, hey man, let me put something together real quick, while it's on my spirit. All right, what I want to speak on is the fear of the Lord. Okay, the fear of the Lord, man, should be at the forefront of your mind. All right, because the fear of the Lord, man, drives away sin, as it goes into in the book of Sirach, the 1st chapter. Okay, and with the fear of the Lord, all right, is present, you apply the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. You eschew evil, it'll go well for you. All right, now we're still going to be chastened. All right, and us fearing the Lord, departing from iniquity, we make ourselves a prey, but that's fine. As long as we stay armored up according to the armor that's spoke about in Ephesians, the 6th chapter. All right, we're able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. All right, we're not deceived, man. We take up the shield of faith. All right, and our perfect love, because love is the keeping of the commandments, which is to fear the Lord. All right, our perfect love towards our power. All right, hey, it casts out fear. Okay, it casts out unhealthy fear, because it tells you in Matthew the 10th chapter, Matthew 10:28, Yahweh himself told us not to fear him that's able to kill the body, all right, but not do anything unto the soul, but much rather fear the power that can destroy both soul and body in hell. All right, and that's it, because it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. Look with us as a nation, all right, not fearing our power. Well, Hosea 4:6. All right, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. All right, this is why we're clean on the other side of the earth, all right, and dispersed throughout the earth. The majority of our people have no idea of who they are, according to Isaiah the first chapter. The ox of his owner, the ass his master's crib. Israel does not know. My people does not consider. Okay, and we're the tail. These other nations, a nation like Elam could come over here, Moab could come over here, Ham could come over here. All right, Esau took this land from us. All right, everybody get a fair shake. But as an Israelite, as a Negro, Latino, Native American, as a Native American, you have no voice. Really, man, people don't even you don't see Native Americans like that, But the Lord has Gad even mixed, well, all the tribes mixed up together, mixed within the nations and everything. But a lot of Jakes who grew up thinking that they're Negroes, they're actually Gadites and Reubenites. All right, but an actual Gadite is very rare. You see an actual Gadite. All right, and even Latinos, this they land. All right, but they're being oppressed. All right, and Negroes, you're just in a state of insanity. You've been trying the same thing over and over, according to religion. Same thing over and over is no justice, no peace, marching. Same thing over and over, crying to the your oppressor, the unjust judge, for justice, and getting the same results. All right, which really no results. They're saying, F you. When you should be crying out to the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, you should be mending your ways, breaking up your follow ground. All right, and you'll understand, okay, why we're in the predicament that we're in. No fear. Okay, no fear. That's why we're destroyed. Once again, according to Hosea 4:6. All right, but it tells you in as a matter of fact, I can pull the precept. I'm kind of stationary now. It tells you in book of Proverbs, chapter 1. Let me bring it up. Bear with me. Proverbs 1. Let's start at 5. No, let's start at the top. Proverbs 1:1. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. You're the wisest king ever. All right, and if you can receive it, all right, if you've been endowed with the Holy Spirit, you understand reincarnation, which is biblical. All right, the same soul that was in Solomon is the same soul of it's the same soul of Yahweh Shai, the one that we're ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Okay, it says to know wisdom and instruction, to know wisdom and instruction. All right, and this world is instructed in wickedness. All right, and our people love to have it so. Okay, hey, and the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, as it goes into in the book of Sirach. It says to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding. All right, and that's what Jake lacks, understanding. It says to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment and equity. And that's what our power delights in. See, our people delight in the things that are abominable to the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, it says to receive the instruction of wisdom. And what is wisdom? The application of knowledge. Justice. All right, and if you understood justice, man, you wouldn't be going down to Egypt for help. Because you know this is an unjust society. All right, Esau Edom is an unjust power. Okay, it says to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment. Our power delights in judgment. All right, and mercy rejoiceth over judgment, against judgment. Okay, it says in equity. All right, fairness, balance. Verse 4, to give subtlety to the simple, and we all were simple. Later on in this chapter, it says, how long you simple when you love simplicity. See, we were simple. You know, how are we able to curse the 2/3 out and condemn their ways? It's because we once walked in the ways of the 2/3, which is just the ways of the Gentiles. All right, walked in the way of the dead. It says to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. NLT reads, these proverbs will give insight to the simple, knowledge and discernment to the young. And that's what Jake lacks, discernment. Well, even our people who have woke up to the fact that they're Israelites, all right, they can't truly discern who the prophets are. And really all you got to do is just go off of and go into, let's go into what the heads and the leaders of these Hebrew Israelite sects, what they have been saying, let's say since the internet started. Let's go back to 2007, all right, when the word hit the web. All right, what have the apostles and elders been saying? Okay, really they have been saying, they started saying and are still saying what's going on in the earth. All right, what was Nate saying? All right, what was Johanna saying? And does Johanna even have a voice now? Okay, then you got the Johnny Come Latelys. What is Alizé saying? Where's the Demon Hakah? What they saying? You know, what's Zabak been saying? You know, but Jake doesn't have any discernment. All right, scriptures goes into you know, how this the return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between them who serve the Lord and them who serve them not. But the thing is, many are called, few are chosen. It's only the chosen who are going to be able to discern who the true leaders are. It's only it's only the chosen who are going to be able to get in line with the order. It's only the chosen who are truly going to fear. Okay? It's only the chosen who will be delivered. It's only the chosen who the angels are going to protect. It's only the chosen who Mayaka Allah is going to stand up for. And Yahweh Shai is going to return to deliver. Beam up, all right, and have at the ceremony and be glorified together with them. Okay, Proverbs 1:5. A wise man will hear and will increase learning. See, he's supposed to increase in this thing. He's supposed to be steadfast. He's supposed to be rooted in it. He's supposed to abound in it. Abound in the grace. Abound in the fear of the Lord. Abound in the wisdom. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. Unto wise counsels. That's what it says in Psalms. Let me come back to this. See, wise counsel. Well, Job was a man who was eschewed evil, but David was as well. Psalm 1:1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. See, walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. And the counsel of the ungodly is all the philosophies. All right, trust science. All right, do as thy will. All the philosophies of this world. You know, it's a thing of this world, man. Especially with our people, there's no rebuke policy amongst our people. And also, man, our people only want to seek and hear the counsel that fits their heart. They'll be in a situation already knowing what they want to do, and they'll go to the person that they knows will tell them, you know, what they want to do is the right thing to do. Whole time, all right, it's the way of death. All right, like it says in Proverbs 12:10, there's a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Okay. Psalm 1:1, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor standeth in the way of the sinners. Okay? I abhor, man, just people who are into iniquity. You know, and really, they despise me, family members, friends I once had. All right, and I'm not even in the spirit of how I was when I first came in. You were Israelite this and this and that, you eating that, going into why that's not good for you. You know, I just be chilling, but it's just, the darkness is so heavy and the works of our people are so wicked in these times, they can't be amongst anyone who is illuminated. Well, that's St. John the 3rd chapter. You know? It says, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord. See, his delight is in the fear of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right? So I scripture speak about being continually with the godly man, one who thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Most High. All right? Who has a mind likened unto your mind. Only want to hang around believers, or I only want to hang around those who truly fear the Lord. Only want to hang around those for real, man. All right, where Yahweh Shai, when I'm around that person, Yahweh Shai is in the midst. All right, because where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, there he is in the midst. That's the type of company I like to keep. Or I'm solo like I am now. It says, but his delights in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water. All right, what's a tree planted by the rivers of water? You don't have to tend to it, it's just going to grow. It's rooted, it's going to spread, it's going to grow. That bringeth forth his fruit in season, all right? And we're coming into that season where, hey, you know what I mean, for the seeds that we have plowed, all right, the seeds that we have sown, I'm gonna say, you know, because we plow and we work in the seeds that we have sown, all right, we're soon to reap the reward thereof. All right, because there's levels to this truth, man. Right now, we're sowing the seed, all right? You know what I mean? You should know a tree by its fruits, by its work. You know what I mean? So we're in a time of sowing and working, all right? But there's a reward for this. There's a reward that follows this, that comes with this. And being rewarded just, you know, simultaneously, really at the same time being rewarded. Because to grow in the truth, man, all right, is a reward. He should be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the shaft which the wind driveth away. See, the ungodly are not so. Those who fear the Lord are not so. You're not going to grow. All right? Go back to Proverbs 1. Because I didn't even get the point of where I went to. I started at the top, but I wanted verse 7. Proverbs 1 and 5. A wise man will hear, it will instruct, it will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain to wise counsels. To understand a proverb, the interpretation, the words of the wise in their dark sayings. And that's how the scripture is written, in dark sayings. Verse 7, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. See, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. People say, I love the Lord. You know, I finally chose the Lord. No, you don't choose the Lord. You don't choose to be on the straight path. The Lord chooses you. All right, well, he calls you. All right, and soon you'll know. Soon we'll all know who his chosen is. It says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. See, fools despise wisdom and instruction. They despise the instruction of the scriptures. But Proverbs 13:13, one of my personal favorites since I've been in the truth. Whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed. Okay? But he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. Whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed. But he that keepeth the commandments shall be rewarded. Those who fear the Lord shall be rewarded. All right? And those who don't fear the Lord, hey, you'll soon fear him. Okay, you'll soon fear him by the judgment which he going to pour out, the wrath he going to pour out upon you rebels. Okay, but let's get this in Jeremiah 5. Jeremiah 5 and 21. Hear now this, O foolish people, and without understanding. You see, Jake is foolish, man. No understanding. Simple as all hell. Which have eyes and see not, which have ears and hear not. And that's because of the curse that was put on them. All right, according to Isaiah the 6th chapter, according to Psalms the 68th chapter. All right, it was fulfilled in Yahweh Shai, and it's still fulfilled in this generation, this day, up until this day. Fear ye not me, said the Lord. Yeah, fear not the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh. Are you out of your fucking mind? Yeah, well, obviously. Obviously, our people are gone. Fear ye not me, said the Lord. Will you not tremble at my presence? Will you not tremble at my presence? I was reading Numbers the 14th chapter recently. Okay, well, Moses, the Most High told Moses basically, stand back. I'm going to smoke all these murmurers, these backbiters, these infidels, and I'm going to create a new people through you. All right, but the Most High, Moses spoke, and the Most High, they reasoned in, hey, the Lord, what Moses said, not to destroy his people, and for the people in the people of the land of Egypt to say anything against our power. All right, but it says, fear ye not me, said the Lord. Will you not tremble at my presence? All right, will you not tremble at my presence? I had a guy who came up to the camp before and said, man, he could stand the judgments of the Lord. As if when the chariots show up, everybody not gonna lose their mind. As when if a chariot showed up, everyone's heart wouldn't faint. As when the Lord start to pour out these judgments, men's hearts are going to be failing them for fear and looking after the things that are coming upon the earth. You know? And you Babylonians, man, you're weak. You Babylonians you're soft, you're weak. See, the Lord's making us hard. Okay? But this society has created weak men. All right, and women who think they tough. How backwards can't get no more backwards than that. You got soft soy boys, all right, and testosterone-filled women. All right, women with broad shoulders. Yeah, this society is just doomed. Jeremiah 5:22. Fear ye not me, said the Lord. Will ye not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea by perpetual decree? Yes, that's a decree that's never broken. And even when the waves, well, let me keep reading. It says that it cannot pass it, and though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet can they not prevail. Though they roar, yet can they not pass over it. All right, I live out here on the coast. You know, and every time we go camping, all right, we end up on that Pacific Ocean, man. All right, we go to the beach. Hey, I'm in the distance just looking at the waves like, man, you know, that water is strong, it's mighty, it's powerful. People actually worship the water. People actually worship, you know what I mean, the Heavenly Father's creations. I'm like, now who? The creator of these things. All right, we got a connection with the creator of all these things. All right, if we be part of that number, Akim, we help create these things. We played a part in creating these things. You know? So it's a beautiful lot that we in. It's beautiful to fear the Lord. All right, and you know, at the end of the day, man, hey, everyone will know. All right, well, those that remain will know. It's nothing greater than the fear of the Lord. It's nothing sweeter than take heed to His commandments. All right, it's nothing more pleasing unto Him than the faith and obedience. All right, than believing and applying. All right, that's the 2/3 of our people, man. You know what I mean? The Lord's gonna destroy them. All right, and they'll be right in the kingdom. They'll be good in the kingdom, man. But for now, you know, fuck all the fearless Israelites. All right, those who don't have a healthy fear. Fuck all the Israelites who don't have a healthy fear towards our power. All right, may the Lord destroy them. So with that, I'm going to close it out, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Al-Shai, Bahashim, Al-Faqadah, Shalom, to the Lord's elect.